Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is I Dust XXX I Buster, aka Dustin. Nice name, nice comments, nice message. Okay, so Dustin wants to know, hypothetically, if I was on Big Brother and the HOH asked me to go up as a pawn for the week, what would I do to convince them to put up someone else as a pawn? That is a very good question. I feel like there's a couple ways you could go with this. You just keep pushing for one person, like one other person, and being like, yo, this person's coming after you. Or you could be like, well, I'll remember that when I'm the HOH. I think that one's a little dangerous. I probably would try to pick someone who's like a common enemy and be like, yeah, this person's been talking crap. Just really push for that person to go up. I don't know. What would you guys do? Leave it in the comments. Alright, so we've got a lot to discuss. Kevin got a task from Big Brother yesterday, and his job was to distract the other house guests so that he could get into the vault. So in order to do that, he tried to overflow the tub in the HOH bathroom with bubbles. It wasn't really working, so he decided to abandon the plan. He was going to try it in the hot tub. But as he was like leaving the HOH bathroom with freaking bubbles all over the floor, he knocks over a glass and it breaks on the floor. So Peely, Ashley, and Bruno all come upstairs and they're just like, what's going on in here? And Kevin's like, I just thought it'd be funny. So Ashley and Peely are cleaning up the mess. Kevin ends up cutting his knee on the glass. Yeah, so it turns out that Big Brother also gave Godfrey the same task. So he was trying to get everyone to go outside. He sets up this cheerleading class with Peely. But they all notice that he's acting like really weird and really out of character. So they're like, does Godfrey have a task? Like, what's going on here? So he's totally freaking busted and he fails. So then they're all talking about it in the living room. And it sounds like Sarah also had this task. So it was one of those ones where they gave it to like multiple people. But then we find out that Bruno had the real task. It was his job to make sure none of them got into the vault room. So he was like lingering around, just like busting up people's tasks. So it was a success, which means the whole house will be rewarded, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now let's talk about the replacement nominee this week. Okay, Cindy has been pushing hardcore for Bobby to go up as the replacement nominee instead of Brittany. So it seems like her campaigning is kind of working on the diapers. They're all going back and forth and they're like, should we take a shot at Bobby? Like, maybe this is a good idea. He might have that secret POV, and they're not sure if they can trust Bobby and Bruno at this point. So they're like, maybe we can do that, and it'll also look like we're not working with them. But then, of course, the is it too soon monster comes out. Was it too soon to do this? We're only halfway through the game. It's never too soon! Maybe sometimes, but not now. It's not. It's not. So then they're like, should we pull Willow into an alliance so that we'll definitely have numbers, blah, 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 blah. Willow, I kind of feel bad for because she's like always on the outskirts of everything. It seems like she's never like solidly in a good alliance. Even when she was in the chop shop, they treated her like crap, so it was really sad. But then, to bring it back, they also feel like Cindy really has to go this week. So they're just going back and forth. It's like a tennis match. So, meanwhile, Godfrey, Sarah, and Brittany are having their own strategy discussion. And Godfrey's like, guess what, girls? Zach wants all the guys to get together to take out you two, meaning Sarah and Brittany. And they're just like, pfft. So Godfrey's like, we have to go after the couples next week. And he's like, yeah, we got the numbers, Bobby and Bruno, I swear, they're down to clown, we got this. He didn't say down to clown, but that's like one of my favorite phrases right now. But yeah, he said they have Bobby and Bruno, and it's all gonna work out. So, the house guests were all rewarded for Bruno successfully completing the task, and they got sushi, and like this huge meal with like, I think they had like Chinese food and like wings and all this stuff. Including the have-nots. Is it just me, or are the have-nots getting a lot of breaks this season? I mean, they just had a reward dinner last night. So it's like night after night. They're getting all these freaking special dinners. Whatever. They also got some arts and crafts supplies to decorate these masks, so they were having a lot of fun with that. Now let's take it back to the strategy. This is where it's at. So Zach and Willow were having a chat, and it seems like Willow is starting to pick a side, or at least she is for the next 5 minutes. It kind of seems like she is starting to protect Sarah. So we know earlier in the game that she was like all about Zach, but now it seems like the tides could be turning. So Zach was saying either Cindy or Brittany have to go this week, and Willow's like, yeah, okay. And then Zach is like going through names and being like, if this person wins HOH, who's gonna go up on the block? So they get to Sarah, and Willow's like, well, I think Sarah would go after Bobby and Bruno if she won HOH. And we know that that's not true, and we know that Willow knows that's not true. So definitely seems like she's trying to keep it on the down low that Sarah's going after Zach. Looks like that honeymoon could be over between Willow and Zach. So Bobby and Bruno are talking game in the hot tub, and it seems like they also want to work with Sarah now. Apparently Sarah told Bruno about the Purple Cobras Alliance, and that's really it's helping her gain his trust, because you know Bruno is always just like, Sarah's poison, she's poison. But now he's like, Sarah's good. Sarah, we can trust Sarah. They cannot trust Zach. They feel like he's got to go. This is another secret alliance that Zach has, and they're not included in it. So they're like, crap, we got to get rid of him. We can't trust him. So Bruno's like, yeah, Bobby, I hope you know that we were the real targets last week. And Bobby's like, yeah, I think my fake power of veto really saved us this week. Come on, Bobby! That fake POV almost got you up on the block, let's be real. So they're talking about how they trust Sarah more now that she gave them that info, so they want to make a deal with her, and I guess Brittany, and I think they want to pull Willow in and get rid of those showmances, because they are dangerous. So, speaking of the showmances, Zach and Kevin decide it's too early to go after Bobby and Bruno at this point, and because they decided that, of course, Peely and Ashley agree. It's the Team Showmance Alliance, come on. So they decide, yeah, we're gonna stick to the original plan and get rid of Cindy this week. Alright, so now let's talk about Godfrey and Bruno. They're talking about who they're gonna target if one of them wins HOH. And of course, like I said, they're going after the showmances, but they're like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? So Zach is an obvious choice, but Godfrey is like, you know what? Ashley is almost more dangerous than Zach. She's not good at competitions, obviously, but she is the link between the two couples. She has Zach, and she is like best friends with Peely. If Ashley is gone, how tight is Zach still going to be with Kevin and Peely? I mean, I'm sure they're still going to work together, but it's just not going to be the same. So they're thinking about that, and then things get crazy. Big Brother gave the house guests booze at like 2:30 in the morning. Why so late? What's going on here? They got like 4 bottles of wine and like a couple beers. What? So they all throw on those masks that they decorated. They're all freaking boozing it up. It seemed like everyone was having a great time, just kind of like hanging out and like running around. And it was all fun and games until Willow had a breakdown. She starts crying, and Sarah goes over to talk to her, and supposedly she's upset because she still has to wear her ketchup suit. She's like, it's already been 24 hours, why do I still have to wear this? So she's freaking out. She's like, is it because I wasn't funny enough while I was wearing it? So they're like, oh, like, Willow, no, like, you were great. You were running around in the costume. You were doing the cheerleading thing in the costume. Ketchup was doing this, Ketchup was doing that. It's so sad. So Big Brother calls her into the diary room, and they tell her, you can take the costume off when you go to bed. But there's been some debate. Like, I don't know if this is actually why she was upset, because later on, Sarah was talking about how that was a cover-up that she made up when everyone came over, and that Willow was actually upset about Zach. But, oh wait, yeah, that's the next thing. So Willow has another breakdown a little while later, and she's talking about how she's upset that Zach played her. She's like, I hate him, F him, we're not even friends anymore. So Sarah's just like, yeah, F him. He's going home. So she's trying to comfort Willow, and Willow's talking about how she's scared that she's not going to have anyone outside of the house when she leaves the game. What? Where did this come from? So, again, it's difficult to tell if Willow is serious or if it was like the alcohol talking, or is she trying to play Sarah? Because you know Sarah likes to be that nurturing person and stuff who like cares about people when they cry, but I don't know if this is legit or if Willow's working Sarah. It's tough to say. But they had an early power veto ceremony this morning, which I found really interesting considering how late Big Brother gave them alcohol. But of course, Godfrey used it on himself, and then Pilar nominated Brittany in his place, so Brittany was pissed. So all the house guests were kind of struggling to stay awake today, and Big Brother had no sympathy. They were just like, nap time is over. I think they did get to take a nap for a little while, but Big Brother didn't want sleeping house guests all Sunday. It's not a lazy Sunday in the Big Brother house. Actually, yeah, it was. So not that much really happened today. There was a very interesting discussion between Bobby and Willow. It seems like these two are really starting to bond. They're really trusting each other now, and I think Bobby is trying to pull Willow into that new alliance. So they talk about the Purple Cobras, and they agree that they're both going after Zach next week. And then Bobby starts sharing some secrets. First of all, he tells Willow he does not have a secret veto. So he has told Willow and Bruno that so far. They're the only ones that know for sure. And he also shares that he is not a virgin, which Willow found really funny. Alright, so again, why is Bobby lying about that? That's so stupid. So, Big Brother gave the house guests a fun task. I feel like they've been getting a ton of tasks lately. But this one is kind of cool. They have these two treadmills set up next to each other, like inside this old car. And you have to have two people walking on the treadmills at a time for 24 hours, and if they complete the task, they get a prize. And they have this big screen in front of the treadmills so that it looks like they're going on this road trip across Canada, so it's like this road trip simulator. It's kind of cool. I think that's neat. But yeah, we'll have to see how they do with that. I'm sure they'll complete it. If they don't, that's kind of sad. But let me know what you guys think of everything that's going on. How do you feel about Brittany going up on the block? Are you excited for next week? I'm kind of excited. I'm just hoping the right person wins HOH. But let me know in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.